I will be talking about managing users in PostgreSQL. I will start by logging into my database instance, which by default is going to have the same username as my computer, as the current user I'm logged on my computer. So I can list all the database rows by simply saying /gu, and we can see we have phone with Chelsea as a row, and we have tech team as another row. So we can start by trying to learn the command to create a new user role on the database. So a user role is simply a role which has the ability to log in. So if I say create a role called user one and give it the privilege to log in, that is a user role. So we have now the role set. If I do /0, we now have user one who can log in. So it means if I go to a new database session and try to log in with the user, which is a user of what? A user of user one. We see we need to have a database at least which the user can access. So I'm going to just create a database with that user. So we have create database user one, and do that. We can now log in here by just calling that. So now we now have a new user here, and this new user can, if this new user tries to create a new database, say user 2, they don't have enough privilege to do that, so it's not going to work. But only us here as a super user can be able to create create new databases, integrations, bypass role level security, etc. So that gives us the power to do that, and we can be able to now create a new user who has permission to create a new database and do that. So we can just do that by saying create again another role with user 2, who is like going to be the big guy, or we can call it super user, or big guy, the big guy who has the permission to create a database. Initially log in, create a database. um oh just give it a super user and done. So if we do /deal, we now have a new user, big guy, who is a super user. So that means if I try to log in with a user of super user, it needs us to create role super underscore user. No, it's big guy, big underscore guy, like that. It needs us to have a database of that. So we're going to create a database to be able to log into that underscore big underscore guy, that. And we have a big guy. So this big guy can do everything which a normal user can possibly do on Postgres, like create a database called big underscore database. They can create a new table within that database. um, Counters, you can int num, or if it's an integer, so they can do everything. Let's see, if I want to see select, they can run select queries on their created tables, select everything from um, counters, like that. You can insert data into it, insert into counters the key of num, and then you just give it the values of 1, 2, and 3 to 120, and just say 30. Okay, what does that? If I want to select now from counters, you see now we can insert data, and you can also delete the entire database counters. Oh, it's from counters, drop database counters does not exist. So we had select everything from counters. So it means we can drop database counters, like that. Counters does not exist. So I can select, let me see, if I select everything from a database name from pk underscore database, we have the database Oh, I'm supposed to delete table, drop trade table, and then counters, not database. They can drop a table within the database. They can also create and manage other users, such as creating a new user. You can call big guy 2, and then they can tell the user belonging, create database, etc., like that. So this super user can basically do everything they want to do in a database. You can do replications, you can bypass row level security. So it's always advisable to avoid giving a user a role of super user and just try to give them what is needed. And here we can drop, if I list like 0 and we see our users, we can drop a role from a user. Let's say we fire user 1, we can drop role user 1, and they won't be able to log in again. We can drop the role of the tech team. It's like saying drop the user. Oh, I need to say role tech team cannot be dropped because some object depends on it. Owner of database, tech team personal database. So we see that tech team owns a database and we can't just drop them without that database. When I say we drop the database here, I think we can be able to drop that because we are a super user. And now we can drop the role now called tech team, and done. So that's the power. These are the powers which you select everything from, select the database name from pg underscore database, and I think it's an issue. I need to log out and logging in. So slash do. Okay, there it is. So now, what if we try to drop a super user with a super user? Drop a big guy underscore guy, or big guy cannot be dropped because some object depends on it. What about big guy too? Oh, a super user can drop a super user. That's crazy. It means you can literally fire from your own company. And yeah, so that's it really for managing roles in PostgreSQL. The lessons that key lessons you'll need to take away is that you should avoid giving a user a super user. If not, you might end up firing you from your own company. And you should, yes, that also can be said in a different way, in that you should try to give at minimum permission to someone as is required for them to do their job. So that's it for this, and with that said, see you in the next video when we're trying out something else on Postgres databases.